Hi guys, it is time for a new series on this channel. This is something I've been thinking about for the longest time because I have a lot of ideas. And I'm talking about project bags. These are a couple of mine. This one is available in the web shop. This is just a personal one that I made. And I want to make more because the thing is, project bags are quite costly. I do keep quite a low price point myself, but you know, it's still costly, especially if you want more than one. And I don't know about you, but I keep a lot of knittings and crochet projects going at the same time. And this one is holding a lot of knitting wires and stuff. So I use them for other things as well. You can use it for your toiletries, of course, also. So here's the thing, here's the idea. I am going to make all of the crazy ideas I have. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this, I promise. In a new series with project bags. 1 episode a week is the plan. And we're starting off with the simple model, which is the same that I have in my web shop. Because they really aren't that hard to make yourself. So, here's the fabric I've chosen. How pretty is that? I love it, absolutely love it. So, what we're doing today is I'm going to show you how to make this project bag, this type of project bag, and you will get all the information you need to make the pattern yourself, so you can make this at home, all the materials you'll need, everything. By the end of this video, you will know absolutely 100% how to make that type of project bag. So let's get started on that. These are the pattern pieces we are going to need. This is the project bag itself. We're going to need 2 of this one, both sides. And it's 32 centimeters across on the top. For you Americans, that would be 12.5 inches. And it is, what's that, 10.25 inch tall. And then you cut out 2 inches, 2 squares, 2 inches each direction at the bottom to fold it like so. So 2 of that, and we also need, and we need lining as well. That's 2 of those as well. And we need a project bag handle. Well, you could omit that if you like. You don't have to have that. And this one is about 12 inches long, and it is just, well, about 4 inches wide. It's just a generic number that I've chosen. So that's the pattern pieces you need. Just straight lines, 90-degree corners, nothing difficult at all. Now, when you cut the fabric, we are going to need, let's start with the pattern here. We're going to need 2 pieces of our fabric, which is this one, with the lovely little baby bats, and 2 pieces of lining fabric. I have gone for a dark blue. So 2 of this one, and 2 of the main fabric, the outside fabric. Now, what you need to remember is that if you have a directional fabric, as you can see here, all the bats are turned this way, and these ones are supposed to hang upside down. So when you're cutting out these 2 pieces, if you fold the fabric, the pattern on the other side will be upside down. Unless you cut out the entire thing, just the squares. Well, not exactly square, but you don't cut out these pieces. So if you cut out 2 pieces, leave these 2 squares in, then you can flip the fabric on the back side and make sure that they are both turned right side up, and then you can remove the corners. So keep that in mind. Directional fabric, you need to cut either one at a time, first one and then one, or you need to flip the back side right way around so that you get it's the right side up. When you're cutting the handle, which you will be folding, then naturally one side will be wrong side up. So what I do for that is I make sure that that is on the inside of the handle and that the outside is right side up. I'll show you more about that later. So, pattern pieces, these two, our main fabric, our lining fabric, and I also use this is called Vliseline. It's an iron-on lining. This is Vliseline H250. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's very light. Maybe if I do, no, didn't help at all. But a Vliseline H250. So it's a bit sturdier, and I will iron that on. Oops. I will be ironing that on the lining, I think. Or maybe I will do it on the cotton. No, I'll probably do it on the cotton. So that's it. That's what you need. And of course, scissors, some pins, things like that. So first I'm going to cut out our pattern pieces, and I will be overlocking all the edges except for these small ones here, because they are just a faff to do on the overlock, these squares. But I will be overlocking the others, all of these, and same thing with the handle. And the handle I only cut in our main fabric, the pattern fabric, and I will add in some strengthening fabric as well to that. So no lining for that one. So one handle, one lining, I'm going to add that to the pattern piece, write that in there. 2 pieces of main fabric for the outside project bag, 2 pieces of the lining fabric, and 2 pieces of the interfacing. All right, let's get going. just realized I filmed that whole the whole section of cutting these 2 fabric pieces without turning on my microphone. But what I was saying was basically that I'm cutting these one at a time, just because the print is directional. Because if I fold it, if I had folded it like so, this one would be the right way, and this one would be the wrong way. So those are both cut, and then I save these tiny squares. I have this idea of making a tiny kind of scrappy project bag someday in the future, with all these tiny corners that I cut out from the where we're going to fold at the bottom. And what else did I say? I said I'm going to, well, I'm going to cut the handle in only this fabric and skip the interfacing because it's kind of sturdy. It is a lightweight cotton. What did I do? There it is. It's a lightweight cotton twill. Can you read that? Maybe not. And I also mentioned that the designer is Andrea Suil. I don't know. And you can get this fabric on Spoonflower. I think that was pretty much what I said. So I have cut these 2 pieces. I'm now going to cut the lining. And with this fabric that doesn't have any direction, I can of course just cut both pieces at the same time. And then I will be cutting the interfacing 2 pieces as well. Yeah, I think that's it. I think you're up to speed now. All the pieces have been cut. We got the interfacing. We have got the handle. Oops. Cut that away. We got the handle. We got the lining. 2 pieces. I just open them up in the bottom with my scissor. And we have got the outside. So next up is doing the overlocking. And no, first we're going to iron the interfacing onto these pieces. Like, oops, throwing things everywhere, like so. And then we will be overlocking the edges. Yeah, let's do that. All the pieces have been overlocked. Did I bother to change the overlock thread from the black one? Nah, it really doesn't matter because all the overlock seams are going to be on the inside anyway. Now we are approaching the moment of adding the zipper. I've got a 30 centimeter black zipper. I didn't have one in navy, which was what I was looking for, but a black one will do. But before we do that, I am going to iron the top edges, just fold it in about 1 centimeter to help when I'm going to add the zipper. So I'm just pressing it so to help when I'm going to pin the zipper to the fabric. Like so. Well, that's backwards. Like so. So I'm doing that for both of the outer pieces. And I'm going to do that for the lining as well. And we're also going to press the handle a bit. I'm going to show you just a second. Let's just press these ones first. Like so. And the other one. There we go. And now for the handle. First, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to fold it in about 1 centimeter on both of the longer sides, like so. Same thing on this side. There we go. And then we are going to fold it once more down the middle and give it another press. There we go. So when it's time to stitch the handle, we have folded in both of the edges. We can just stitch along here. And then when it is time to add it to the bag, you make sure you, because one of these sides will be facing the right way and the other one will be upside down. So I make sure to fold it so that I get the right sides up, which will be like so. No, wait, I'm going to have the seam down, so it'll be this way. These guys are hanging upside down. So that's what we do, and I'm going to pin this a little bit, and we are going to pin the zipper. And the way I do it, I just add it in between, kind of sandwich it between the outer fabric, and you make sure that you get the inside of the lining as well. And I just line those up and I pin it together. And I do one side first and sew that in place before I pin the other side as well. Okay? So let's do that. Let's pin the zipper in place. Like, well, something like that. We're getting ready to sew. I have pinned the handle along here, so I will be doing that seam. And I have also pinned, oh, can you see that? There we go. The zipper to the top here, and I've got both the lining and the fabric just to make it a little bit quicker. So first I'm going to stitch up the handle, and I'm just using my regular foot for that, and then we will be changing to a zipper foot, which is, let's see if we can find it. Where are you, dear? There you are. Which is one of these. But first, stitching together the handle. Stitching fairly close to the edge here. There we go. Sewing wise, this is a very easy project. Well, most of it. You need to finagle a little bit with the zipper, but not too much, and I will be showing you that in a bit. There we go. I know I do have the knife over here, but I still prefer to use my scissors to cut off the thread. And the handle is done. I'm sorry, the lighting is not quite optimal here, but we will make do. Now we are switching the foot. There it is, and this one I can choose which side I want to put it, and I'm just releasing the other one, setting that aside. And since I will be stitching the project bag this way, I want the foot to be attached to the, whoops, to this side, so that I get the zipper on the right side of the foot. Like so. Ooh, things are falling down. There we go. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer. There we go. Foot is in place. I'm attaching it so that I got maybe around 1 millimeter of the fabric showing on the right side of the foot. So I want the seam to be quite close. And as you can see, I can stitch here without the zipper head and the zipper itself getting snagged. There we go. You do, of course, run the risk of not catching the lining when you do it like this. But what can I say? I like quick solutions. So we shall see. Hopefully we are catching that as well on the back side. I feel like my sewing machine is very loud today. Maybe it's just me. Okay, moment of truth. Did we catch the lining as well? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It's not perfect, but it's fine. I'm going to remove the threads where we started. And we are checking that we can actually open it and close it, which we can. So now we just need to pin the other side of the fabric onto the zipper and stitch that in place. The other side has been pinned as well. Got my needles in here at the top. Can you see them? I don't know. So we are going to stitch that together. Make sure you get the lining with you on both sides so it doesn't fold over like so when you accidentally, like so, and you accidentally stitch it to this side. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to stitch the zipper on this side as well, and once that is done I will be stitching my logo that I have added here. I've simply measured 7 centimeters from this corner, so 7 centimeters that way and 7 centimeters that way. If you have a logo or something you want to stitch to your project bag, just put it anywhere you like, but make sure you fold the lining away so that you're only stitching in this fabric. But first, stitching the zipper. Both sides are stitched in place now, and I have also stitched the label. I switched to a white thread because it's a white label, and now I really need better lighting in here. Anyway, now it's time for the really fun part. We are going to turn the two right sides together and the two linings together, and we will be stitching along the entire side in one swoop, and then the bottom of the right side will be stitched together, and the other side with both the right side and the lining the whole way over, and then finally the lining both sides together. So we're leaving these little square takeouts. But we are also going to add in the handle at this point. So here's how we do that. Now I like to put my handle on the same side as the zipper thingy, because when I then open it, I can hold it by the handle and I can just pull with the other hand to open it. So that's my preference. And we are going to, I don't know, can you see that? Let me switch the camera a little bit. There we go. Now you can see it better. Here's the handle. I prefer to have the seam at the bottom, and I have made sure that I have the right direction. So here we have the tiny bat hanging upside down. And I am placing it like so. About, how much is that? Is that an inch maybe? A little less, I think. Yeah, 1/4 of an inch, or let's do it 2 centimeters, like so. And I will be pinning that in place there, sandwiched in between the 2 front sides, like so. And I'm putting a pin in here. So that when I am turning the project right side out later, I will have the handle on the right. So you don't want the handle sticking out on this side, because then it'll end up on the inside of the project bag. It needs to be turned towards the center of the right side. What you also need to make sure to do is that, let me show you on the other side, that when you line this up, you need to make sure that the zipper is also lined up in a folded state, like so. Here's the underside of the zipper, it's underneath here, and we're folding it like so, so that it doesn't get skewed, like so. Can you see that? It needs to be folded like that. Okay, does that make sense? Maybe if I show you from the other side. When you're stitching the zipper, you want to stitch it in this position, as if it's folded, and not like so, next to each other. It needs to be folded, except the other way. Folded towards the inside. So I am going to pin these sides, the other side, both bottoms, and then we'll stitch those together. And I will show you what I do when I get to the zippers on each side, so you don't break your needle. I almost forgot something. What you also want to do is to unzip your zipper. Pull it almost all the way to the other side, not entirely, because you will be sewing. Oh, you will be sewing out here, so leave it a little bit in here, but unzip it so it's open, because you are going to turn the project bag right side out later, and you're going to be utilizing that opening as well. So you need to open the zipper a bit. All the sides have been pinned. The handle is inside here. See it peeking out here. And since I put the needle for pinning it the other direction, it goes like that instead of this way as the other ones, I can see immediately where I have the handle. So let me show you how I stitch this together. Can you see what I'm doing? I think you can. So I will be showing you both how to pass the zipper up here and how to get over the handle. I've switched to my regular sewing foot. Just let me get the thread where I want it. There we go. and start sewing. And now we're going to slow down here because the zipper have metal teeth, so I'm going very slowly. And when I am approaching the zipper, I'm simply turning the wheel instead on my sewing machine, slowly walking forward stitch by stitch instead of using the pedal, because doing this the needle will just simply stop if I hit something hard, whereas if I'm just sewing at a higher speed I might actually break the needle. Now I'm just walking it past this area and I'm not hitting anything, so I think we're good. And we'll carry on. And now we're getting to the handle. Excuse me. And what you need to remember is that the handle is folded double, so there's a lot of fabric in the handle in addition to the fabric for the front and the back, which is also has this lining, interfacing, I'm sorry. So there's a lot of fabric here, so take it easy, just go slow so you don't break your needle there either. There we go. And we'll finish off here. I'm not stitching these openings. We're leaving those for now. So I'm just going to continue with the other sides and do the same thing when I get to the zipper on this side. The handle we're all done with. We only have that on one side, so on this side it's only the zipper there we go. It's only the zipper we need to be careful with, but we're doing it the same way that we did on the first side. We are not too far from being done now. I've stitched all the sides and now we are going to stitch up these smaller corners. We are, however, going to leave one of them in the lining part. So I'm going to leave this one open. I'm not going to touch that, but I'm going to pin together the other inside corner and the two outside corners. And here's what we'll do. We'll just open it up like so and line up this way. We'll line up that seam with this seam and pinching it together, putting a couple of pins in here to close it up like so. So you got the bottom seam here, you got the side seam here, and we squeezed it together like so. I'm opening up these, or you could open them up or you could just turn them to either side. It's just so that the fabric doesn't get very thick here. I'm just putting a pin there. I'm putting a pin on the other side. And like I said, we're going to do the same thing for one of the inside corners. So I'm just going to close up this side, like so. Same thing. Will be a little bit of excess fabric. That's okay, because we are going to fix that as well. There we go. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to use my overlocker. You can see here this is a bit uneven, but it's fine. I will be using my overlocker just straight across like so, and then I will sew a straight seam. Same principle as here. just overlock at the edge and a straight seam inside of it. And that's because I could just use the overlock, but if you pull the fabric a little bit like so, you can see here I've used a straight stitch in between, and you can barely see that there's any in there, but the overlock seam, if you just close it with that and then you try to pull it apart, you will see there's a lot more of the thread. It doesn't close as neatly. So I'm going to overlock all 3 corners that we have pinned now, and then I will be stitching with a straight stitch just inside of that, and we'll be using the final opening to turn our project bag inside out. I have stitched all the 3 corners, just overlocked first and then regular stitch, and I did that on all 3 of the ones that we were going to close up. And now we are on to the exciting part. Now we are turning this inside out and we're going through this opening. Yep, with the whole thing. Might seem impossible, but it is not. So I'm just starting to feed the project bag through the hole, and it's like a magic trick. There we go. And here's the opening. This is why you needed to leave the zipper open. And I'm going to put some of my fingers, as many as I can fit, inside the opening to get to the quarters inside. I'm just using my fingers to poke them out properly, like so. And I'm turning the lining inside, and I'm poking those corners as well. And there will be a little puckering here, so I'm just pushing that out as well. There we go. And we have the handle on the right side. And we are almost done. There we go. We have a flat bottomed project bag. We got the handle, we got the zipper, we got our name tag, and the only thing left to do is to close up that final opening. I don't know if you can see it because it's so dark. You can kind of see it down here. So here's the hole we used to turn it inside out. So I'm just folding in the edge like so. And the same on the other side, making sure the seams meet. There we go. And again, I'm just doing this kind of the quick and easy way. I'm just going to cut away some of these loose threads from the fabric. And folding it in. Like so. So I fold it in a little bit on each side, just so that I get a straight edge here. There we go. And now I'm just going to stitch this edge and we'll be done. There we are. The inside is closed up as well. And I have you can do this, absolutely do this, to make an invisible seam. I don't bother with that. I mean, it's the inside of a project bag. So I'm just tucking it back in here. And there we have it. The inside is all done and finished and closed up. The outside is done. And you have yourself a new project bag. Or maybe a Christmas present for someone. A bag for toiletries, or I don't know, makeup. I use mine for all kinds of things. And now I got another one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are inspired to make something yourself. It's not too difficult. Just give yourself some time. Don't rush it. You'll figure it out. Even a zipper is not too hard to add in this way. It might be a little finagly trying to do both fabrics at the same time, but you could also do just one side at a time. Set in the lining first, and then you can add the outside fabric afterwards. So it doesn't matter if you got double seams on the inside here where the lining is. Nobody's gonna see that. And you'll have only one seam on the outside anyway. So there's a lot of ways to do this, to make it easier, to make things more invisible, whatever you like. But yeah, there is our project bag.